Hey there, Reverend Sully, Eric O'Sullivan, ordained on the internet. The caveat, as always, please do not burn your hands holding on to my hot takes. If you do, well, that's on you, pal, or gal, or anyone who resides in between in the great spectrum of humanity. Well, darn good cup of coffee. Let me tell you, I'm all decked out and ready, and I got it going on for my Space 1999 big viewing. I got a t-shirt, I got my Eagle Moss, and I just finished a comprehensive viewing of years 1 and 2 of Space 1999. It was on Amazon Prime on the IMDb channel with advertisements, free, and just watched both seasons. And it's the first time in my adult life that I've watched the complete Space 1999. I literally grew up on this show, a foot away from the television, in the mid to late 70s. I was totally taken aback, such as if it was a time machine, with the fashion and the music. And this would broadcast on weekends on TV 56, a UHF channel, WLVI TV, Boston. And I remember it very fondly. I knew this show before Star Wars. I knew this. I grew up with Space 1999 and with Star Trek as like the first sci-fi that I was really immersed in. And I gotta tell you that it wasn't that bad. I mean, year 1 is definitely better than year 2. There was a we have the language now that we would call the showrunner, the main producer, switched between the first season and the second season. So for the second season, there was a real tonal shift and a personnel change. A lot of the actors that were in season 1 did not come back for season 2, such as Paul Morrow, Cano, Victor Bergman, and my favorite, the lovely Tanya Alexander, who I had the biggest crush on, and still do. It was year 1. Space 1999. It's set in this fictional world where on September 13th, 1999, the moon was blown out of Earth's orbit and sent on a trajectory taking it far into the cosmos, where the inhabitants of Moonbase Alpha, plus or minus 300, or given over the course of the show. What's this ad coming up? I don't want to see this movie. Hello? I'm just trying to have a background here. Sorry about that, Doug. Can we get back to my background? Yeah, there we go. That's Moonbase Alpha. Special effects by Brian Johnson from the brain of Jerry Anderson, who did a lot of the marionette stop motion special effects shows. So the special effects in this show are just very dated, but very awesome, very cool. I got Jerry Anderson Jr., the son. This is his channel. My background is his 10 Scariest Moments from Space 1999, which had a lot of features of grotesque and of just and of horror. And I grew up on this, Twilight Zone, Star Trek, and this was all before Star Wars came out. And the Eagle, the space, this was the mainstay spacecraft. This is an Eagle Moss, quality die-cast reproduction. Love this thing, and I had the toy of this as a kid, as a small child. It was huge, and it was metal, and it came with 3 orange action figures. I think they were supposed to be Commander John Koenig, Dr. Victor Bergman, and Dr. Helena Russell themselves, or maybe one of them might have been Alan Carter, the astronaut. Um, but season one, year one, as it's like to be called, was shot primarily in 1974 and released in 1975. Year two was shot as a production date of 1976. In all the credits, so these were released in the United States in the mid to late 1970s. As I said, they were on the weekends, on Saturdays and Sundays, usually after Creature Feature and Creature Double Feature. And yeah, they were staples of growing up. And they had these. Oh, there's Tanya. Hi, Tanya. Love you. I miss you. Wonder what happened to Tanya. Oh, the same fate that happened to Paul Morrow and Kano and Victor Bergman. And they all died off panel. But year one is very cerebral. And I'm not sure how allegorical it gets. But it's not very deep. But it is very cerebral, and it's not very action oriented. That kicks in season two, when Fred Freeberger, the new showrunner, takes over, and it becomes a lot more action oriented. And we're also introduced to security chief Tony Verdecci and the shape shifting Cylon. I'm messing this up. Sorry. I can't. Her race ain't coming back to me right now. Don't worry. It's Maya, and she's the metamorph. And this year two has a lot more to do with action, adventure, and with thread of the week, and but it is charming in its own way because it has more to do with the interpersonal relationships between Maya and Tony and their budding romance, and the real life couple of Martin Landau and Barbara Bain, the stars of Space 1999, who were the stars of Mission Impossible, the TV show. They were a real life couple. Their daughter Juliet, we would know her from who played Drusilla on TV's Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel. But they played Commanders John Koenig and Dr. Helena Russell, and their romance was more fleshed out in year two, and that was nice to see. And but yeah, so I was just really brought back. It's a real big time machine to my childhood. Does it hold up as a sci-fi show? Kind of does. It's just I don't think it can be taken very, very seriously. Yet the special effects are all practical. You can see the strings, and the aliens are just either bad makeup or really bad suits, rubber suits, and it's just, who cares? It's just it doesn't suffer. It is of its day. It's the best special effects the TV had to offer in the mid 70s, and I'm completely fond of it, and it looks a lot better and visually appealing than most CGI effects have today. I mean, it looks better than Babylon 5. I'm serious. Babylon 5 was great story-wise, but it had limitations of its late 90s, early 2000s, or it was the mid 90s of its CGI of the day. But yeah, so Space 1999. It's something I grew up on, and I had a good time watching this, even with all the clunker episodes, especially in year two. And yeah, what do you think? Did you watch Space 1999? Did you grow up watching it like I did? Have you seen it recently? What do you think? Does it hold up? What do you think about the special effects, the stories? The characters. Who was your favorite character? Like I loved Alan Carter. He was the more traditional, astronaut hero. I also like Tony Verdeschi to an extent too. I mean, it was year two. A lot of things changed. The production quality changed. The uniforms changed slightly. I liked the jackets, and I have to say that this episode here had the only childbirth in the entire show. This is the only kid that was allowed to have been born on Moonbase Alpha. Um, why? Because of resources. I mean, it had a kind of practicality to their no kids policy on the show. I mean, just this was the only child that was allowed to have been born on Moonbase Alpha in their Odyssey. And if there was a year three, hopefully they could have improved upon that. But yeah, so give me a thumbs up if you like this kind of content. Give me a thumbs down if you didn't. Leave a comment in the comments section. I was a big fan of this growing up. I also had the squirt gun that looked like the ray gun that the Alphans used, and I'm so happy to have this Eagle Moss Alpha as part of my collection of spaceships. And give me a subscribe if you could be so kind. I make spiritual content. I'm an amateur theologian, an ordained minister. I say let's get spiritual, and we often do on this channel. I'm also a professional line cook, a professional chef. I share with you some restaurant-level quality hacks so you can make nutritious and delicious, beautiful food for your loved ones to share on your Moonbase Alpha. And that's all I got for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless and good luck. And yeah, check out Space 1999. I watched it on Amazon Prime. It had commercials and its proper commercial breaks, which is interesting because Netflix style binge TV, it lacks the act breaks that conventional old time TV had, and it's really comforting to see traditionally told stories. And it's very anthology. It doesn't have a real connecting continuity. Events in one show don't really matter in the other. That this is before arc storytelling. And so yeah, so give me a subscribe if you could be so kind. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Cheers.